Hey everyone, I built this smokeless burn barrel a while back using the fantastic design from Building Stuff is Fun. I've been really happy with it, and just recently I took the inner, which has pretty much disintegrated, and replaced it. And so I thought I would, in this video, walk you through 3 unique customizations that I've added. These aren't necessarily about making the build easier. They're more about making them more functional for me and for the situations that I need. First up is a very simple handle for the burn barrel. And this makes it, the original burn barrel was difficult to move, especially if it was still a little bit hot. So I attached these sturdy handles here, which I made from the 5-inch pieces that Building Stuff is Fun tells you to cut. And so I just kind of folded them up and turned them into handles here, and added them to the burn barrel. And what that does is it just makes it a whole lot easier to lift and reposition the burn barrel without having to try and grab some hot metal. But it also makes it incredibly easy if you just need to stabilize the burn barrel while you're adding material to it, without, again, burning your hands. So that's the first change. Next, my second customization of Building Stuff is Fun Smokeless Burn Barrel is the addition of the ashtray. This is customization that I think every burn barrel should have, which is a dedicated ashtray. This is not only for being able to clean up the ashes after, which can be a messy job, but it's also to provide a floor for your burn to prevent it from burning grass and everything else underneath. And how I built this is following exactly Building Stuff is Fun instructions, except that at the point where they would cut the top lid here near the end of the build, I give it an extra 5 inches. And that allows me to have an ashtray that I can use. And I'll show you the inside of the ashtray here, which just sits underneath the burn barrel. So it's just the bottom of a barrel, and I've added rebar, 3 pieces of rebar with little, clamps, and the burn barrel just sits right on top here, and the ashes accumulate in the bottom. And so not only does this prevent fire from spreading out underneath your burn barrel, makes it easier to collect the ashes. I collect the ashes. I'm going to do a nice little video for that after to show you why. But this is a very necessary element for safety if you're in an environment where you need to worry about maybe burning holes in your ground. And nothing changes with regards to the rest of the build. You still cut out the legs, same as it's done in the Building Stuff is Fun video, but you then cut the legs off right where the rim is, and then just add 1 screw to be able to secure that leg. And I painted this so you can sort of see that there is space between the inner and the outer. The leg is here, and the leg is folded up on the inside, so the inner is right over here, and the leg comes up and then is just secured with 1 screw. So there's 4 legs. So this is done 4 times to be able to secure the inner to the outer. And that is for being able to have an ashtray. That was the bottom of the burn barrel, and this is the top of the burn barrel. And you can see that by adding those couple extra inches, the top is still flush with both of these. What I have additionally done, though, in order to make sure that the inner and the outer are secure, is I take 4 of the flaps of the inner and I turn them towards the inside. And then I fold them in and then use one screw on the outside to secure the outer and the inner. One thing that I noticed from using this burn barrel is that sometimes the top of the inner would sort of float around and create oxygen compression on one side. And so by taking 4 of these flaps and turning them inside and then using that to secure the outer to the inner, I have found that that distributes the oxygen more evenly all around the barrel. This is what the burn barrel looks like when it's sitting on the feet that I use. Those are just pieces of metal, and then I use the ashtray and I sit that on top of the metal, and that avoids burning the grass or burning a hole in the ground, and also allows me to collect the ash. My final customization is this Spark Arrestor lid. What the Spark Arrestor lid does is it prevents embers from flying away on a windy day. I built this lid using the lid that I got with the burn barrel, and the burn barrel that I obtained was a wine barrel. And so when you get a wine barrel, you get this kind of a clamp that allows you to clamp a lid onto your burn barrel. And so that allows me to put this on, and you can see here that's the burn barrel on the inside, and there is nothing stopping large elements or embers from flying away. But if you build an ember shield like this, and it's really no different than it's a really simple sort of a concept that's not much different from the element that you add at the bottom. You just cut a couple of flaps, fold them in, and there you go. You have an ember guard. Okay? And I used wine barrels. I paid a little bit more to get wine barrels for the simple reason that I also wanted to be able to, when I'm not using my burn barrel, cover it up and make sure that rain doesn't get into it, and that extends the life of the exterior of the burn barrel. The interior is only going to last a couple of years if you use it regularly, and the exterior will last a little bit longer. Not only do I use that lid to prevent rain from going on there, but I also have an old barbecue cover that I then throw on top. So there you have it. I find that by adding a bottom, and by adding the spark arrestor, and by adding the handles, that gives me extra peace of mind, especially when I'm burning and it's sort of dry. Those are added extra features so that it doesn't compromise the airflow or burn quality. Now, I'm not going to show you a video of me burning stuff, simply because it works that well that you wouldn't see. You just don't see it burn. So there you have it. Those are the 3 customizations that I've used for the smokeless burn barrel. I hope that sort of gives everyone else ideas about their own barrel. But remember, the core design from building stuff is fun is genius. And please give them credit because that can really go a long way. I'd love to hear what you think about these additions. Leave a comment below with your own ideas. Give a like, and don't bother subscribing. I don't put out that many videos.